Hello, 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 and welcome to the show with Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. Previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday. Interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Taskbox, sponsored by Rove Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, that guy, Rick James J, alongside the leader of Squash Squad, Kaliko Yachts, and the birthday boy himself, the American Scooter Dust.
I just smoked a whole bunch of crack!
Yay, you deserve it. It was a great week for Wrestling Wit, as on Tuesday we interviewed Rochelle Lowe. Great interview. Lowe, always love catching up with somebody from another country, especially Australia. That match down under performer. And can't say enough great things about Rochelle. No, Scooter?
Absolutely. First class interview from where the water flows in reverse.
And on Wednesday, Spencer Love. You loved that interview, no pun intended. Spencer, great guy, great company that he runs. And just if you want to know the inner workings of his promotion, this is definitely, we give you a lot of great insight on it. That being said, this upcoming Wednesday, Gary F and J, one of the four pillars of St. Louis indie pro wrestling. Of course, you probably saw his incredible documentary on YouTube, and maybe you've seen him at Anarchy, St. Louis Anarchy as well. It's not one to miss for sure. Alright, since we are done putting ourselves over, it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with some news. The drama just keeps rolling in when it comes to AEW, no, Scooter?
I mean, aside from, finding out that Tony Khan has just endorsed his favorite brand of diapers,
Depends.
Pampers.
Oh, we'll get into that, but maybe we'll
I
start.
just wanted to get that joke out.
We'll get into the main bit of news. John Moxley defeated CM Punk in less than 5 minutes in their title unification match. More or less a squash match, which made a lot of people speculate, um, including us. So, what is your thoughts on the CM Punk squash?
Yeah, it's no secret that Tony Khan is a mark for himself. That's without a doubt. Uh, the the fact that this went 5 minutes, the fact that CM Punk, the most popular signing to any wrestling promotion in the last 5 years, and you make him look like he came back too fast, or you're punishing him for him going off script. And it's very difficult to discern because you couldn't tell where kayfabe ended and reality began. Now, is it possible that, I don't know, maybe Tony said, fuck, if Cody can do it, you should be able to do it, Punk?
In what way?
I mean, Cody wrestled with a torn bicep.
Well, I mean,
a torn pec, actually. But
apples
you
to
know,
oranges, so to speak. But okay.
yeah, and he didn't even, but the fact that Punk essentially doesn't want to do the job. We know what Punk is like when, and I'm sorry I'm gonna say this, but Punk is really stuck inside his own ego at this point.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not taking anything away from his accomplishments, but you can't discern. This is a really difficult situation to interpret.
For sure.
Is Punk really, was Punk too injured to return? If not, why make the match at all? Why not just take the belt off Punk?
Maybe,
I mean,
like you said, he has an ego, and with that comes pride. So maybe the pride was, I don't wanna lose it. Be stripped of this. I wanna lose it.
but at the same time, Tony's the boss. Tony can Tony can take whatever title he wants off somebody for whatever reason. I mean, should there have been an interim champion to begin with? Is the idea of an interim champion a good thing? And yet again, we're seeing another I can't believe I didn't even bring this up or realize the comparison. We're seeing the same thing that happened 11 years ago.
Oh, with
The Summer of Punk.
Yeah.
Except that was within story. Is Punk injured? Is he still not good to go? I'll say this: Punk's old.
Yes.
I mean, there's no hiding the gray anymore.
gotta use that just for me. Just
I
for me.
mean,
Please sponsor.
and I'm gonna go a little off script here. Please don't make me job out in 5 minutes next week, James. Uh, but as of this, as of this show, as of this recording, there's footage that's supposed to be shown on Rampage. By the time this airs, that footage will have aired.
Yes.
So this has the entire wrestling, the fandom, divisive. Uh, it's not good for, certainly was not good for business.
But isn't it though? Because we're talking about it and we don't know what to really make of it.
Yeah, yes, but are we talking about it for the right reasons?
Is there a wrong reason when it comes to talking about pro wrestling?
I mean,
Controversy creates
given
chaos, no?
yes, but this was this was controversy after the fact. This just seemed like a more organized finger poke of doom.
Which AEW
You know,
hasn't. AEW rarely does those squash matches. So, it is out of the ordinary for them to do something like this. Especially,
I mean,
and this is
yeah,
the first time
like
it was for a championship like this.
they were promoting the historical implications that the match could have.
I mean, you don't promote a match where, oh, it's going to be okay. I think
And I mean,
if there was any indicator that it wasn't going to be the 5-star classic that people thought it could be, was that they moved it up from essentially their WrestleMania to just an average night of Dynamite a week later. Kind of shows you where they were at with it. That tells you what match you should have expected.
and I mean, God, is it Tony sending a message? Is it Tony punishing Punk? Is it is it all work?
Is it Punk punishing Tony?
I don't I don't see unless this was Punk's idea, and
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
and now it implicates Mox as a complicit accessory in this. That oh yeah, Punk's like, oh, I'll do this. Oh, this is gonna go over like gangbusters, knowing that it's going to come across terrible
Let me
on
ask you
on, on
this.
television.
Now, Moxley's the interim champion. There was no debating that. And we're coming up in a week with their pay preview, All Out, which is the biggest show that they do. If Moxley just had a match that was for the interim championship against Jabroni Joe, it doesn't have that luster of this is a world title match for the world title. No, this is a title. This is a match that says I'm first in line to challenge CM Punk. which is a little lackluster. There's no interim champions at WrestleMania, is what I'm trying to get at. So was this Tony saying we need a legitimate champion for the show? So could you come back, drop the belt to Mox? Could that have been a scenario?
It could have been, but then again, it was only what, nine, was it 84 days or 91?
84 days, I believe. But I don't think,
Yeah, so it's 12 weeks.
from what I'm hearing, he shattered his foot. So, I mean, maybe that.
Except he wasn't holding his foot. And this is something else to pick up on. He hit the roundhouse kick with the right and then went down clutching his left leg.
Maybe because he put too much weight on it? I don't know.
That's the one thing I'm seeing, but if that had happened, they wouldn't have kept his boots on. If that had happened, they would have immediately gone to getting the boots off, or at least cutting the tights. Because when it's a legit injury like that, you can't suffocate it.
I, I don't think anybody really considered that it was legitimate. I feel everybody felt that it was a war of an injury, whether it was Punk's own doing or a part of the storyline.
I think, and I'm still going with this, that Punk is now going to sit out the rest of his contract.
That's
And
a continue.
Tony's going to find out the hard way of what happens when you give someone too much power. Say what you will about the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, but never more have I appreciated what the Bucks and Omega do for AEW than after how Punk and Mox went down.
Well, we will definitely see how this all unravels. Maybe by next week we'll just say, oh, this was a walk, it was elaborate, yada yada. Um, what's another injury that may be a walk? Thunder Rosa announced that she'll be more giving up her title, but she won't be able to defend the women's championship, and a new interim women's champion will be crowned at Fall Out. Um, I thought nothing of it, but um, apparently she has a back injury and she's dealing with that and was referred by doctors. I thought nothing of it. But some people are saying that Rosa doesn't want to do the job, so she's faking this injury. Um, a little bit of a bizarre situation, no, Skittle?
I mean, we're getting another interim champion.
Yeah. And just when they got rid of the last one. But what do you feel about the Thunder Rosa? Is it just an unfortunate injury? Is there smoke with a fire? Um, etc. Is there a CM Punk thing going on here with Rosa?
No, I honestly, I think Rosa is more sincere and and really more loyal in her work ethic.
What do you think people
Uh,
are saying that, Rosa is, maybe not the best to work with? Because this isn't the first time we heard that Rosa was maybe difficult, but I mean, everybody's difficult. They're wrestlers, right?
mm, yeah,
Well, we'll talk about who will be
just,
the
mm,
interim women's champion, I believe
mm,
next week. But a lot of,
man,
excuse,
I'm sorry, but um, so there's something that's putting a terrible taste in my mouth, and I'm sorry I'm bringing it back to Punk and Mox again, but the Sportster is, I'm convinced Tony Khan is paying certain outlets uh, to put a positive spin on what happened. Uh, yeah, the fact that Punk in his third week back, you know the takes on the third best babyface, who he claimed was the third best in his group, and and gets squashed for him. No, no, absolute and complete and utter bullcrap. And you think it's a brilliant move? No, it's not a brilliant move. It it just shows it shows the true face of what hides behind the mask of kayfabe. And if you're convinced that this is a moment of brilliance, well, I have a bridge I'd like to sell you. All right, we can move on now.
people are saying that Jamie Hayter deserves to be the interim women's champion. Give,
Jimmy Hayward,
oh, Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter.
Yeah.
Well, personally, I prefer Jamie Lover.
I don't know.
Lover or hater.
They can get Jamie Love or they settle on Jamie Hayter. In fact, Jack Tomlinson's favorite Hayter. Um, should they give Hayter an opportunity with that title, or go with the safe bet and go with Storm?
Are either of them a safe bet?
Well, I mean, you could give it back to Baker, but I mean, she was the last one to hold it. Oh, I mean, she does in the
Uh,
match.
I'm that's who I think should carry it until Thunder Rosa returns. There's nobody that deserves it more in AEW.
Then Cheetah.
It's in it's like if you're overlooking essentially the most successful woman on your roster in terms of rankings.
I mean, she really carried that division when there was, she basically built the women's division in a really bad time for AEW.
And then got jobbed out to Jade Cargill.
I mean, everybody's jobbed out to Jade at this point.
So, or you know what? Have Jade say, you know what? I'm taking that title. Take the TBS title back, and you do something with that.
Ooh, that would have been a great way to go with it, for sure. But that's not what they're doing, unfortunately. Just like it just feels like Hikaru has been treated really shita.
You know, you know what? It would not. It wouldn't surprise me if they actually went with Sheeta.
For sure. Uh, the bad news keeps rolling in for AEW. Apparently there was a backstage altercation between Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara. Apparently Sammy said some things that Eddie didn't like on the air. He confronted him about it, um, and got suspended for 2 weeks. Um, is this completely on Sammy? Is this completely on Eddie? Is this they're both to blame? Because I mean, this
I
isn't the first time Sammy's had issues with somebody in the backstage area.
uh, I mean, I think Eddie has already gone on social media and said, "All right, you know, I don't, I don't drop, the facade most of the time, but y'all who are giving and y'all who are, giving Sammy, crap and or you know making threats and whatnot, that he is essentially put out his statement saying, leave him alone.
Right, and Eddie's the type of
We'll,
guy he doesn't
we'll
need other people fighting his
yeah,
battles for him.
and he's like, yeah, we'll settle this our way. The other thing is that I think it's also kind of why they decided not to do Eddie and Sammy at All Out, because I think they might be afraid that Eddie is gonna shoot on him.
Do you? I don't think Eddie would unless Sammy tries to shoot on Eddie. I feel like he's a little bit more professional than that. Not quite sure about Guevara though. But what do you feel about Sammy Guevara? Is he the future of AEW or is he just bad news?
Bad news, Guevara.
Speaking of bad
Well,
news,
he's the first worst Guevara I know.
this is the only Guevara you know.
Che Guevara,
I have no idea who that is.
the guy on the shirt with the Kangol hat.
Mm, no.
You didn't learn about. Did you go to school, Jim?
What is this school?
Damn it, Jim.
It's Rick.
Never mind.
It's Rick now school.
Guevara's on. Guevara's now on. Che Guevara, not Santa Guevara. Che Guevara's on money now. I believe. I believe it's on Cuban coins. Who knows? That's your history lesson for the week, kids.
If you're a kid listening to this, please click off, tell a parent to listen, and yeah, no. Um, bad news. I'm afraid I've got some bad news for NXT. Wade Barrett is staying on commentary. Good news for bad news. Bad news for NXT. Still, I feel like I need the Jeopardy theme, waiting for the answers.
Uh, yeah. What is the response? What is this response supposed to be to that?
I don't
So,
know.
Wade Barrett should get Wade Barrett off commentary.
I don't know.
Wade Barrett's perfect where he is.
There you go. More bad news for AEW. There was a meeting with a mandatory meeting with all the talent. They can't cross on TV anymore. And if you want to talk to Tony, you have to go through Kenny and the Bucks. Um, obviously Tony's having some marital problems, and people think that they could slide in where Juice Robinson is going. Your thoughts, Scooter?
See, I mean, so it's it's Teddy Long syndrome. Um,
It's a tag team match. They're gonna bring the Undertaker.
no, it's with the Under Omega, the Under Mega. Uh, but I mean, yes, the apparently the door to the Bucks and Omega is always open.
Yeah.
Um, uh, who to me that's saying, yeah, no one gets to talk to Tony now.
Yes. Nobody
To,
gets.
Tony is Tony really is slowly becoming more like Vince with every week.
Oh, for sure, but with a better body. love that so much.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, weighing in at 150 kilograms of an unknown powdery substance.
What are you implying about said Tony? Because we're definitely talking about the same Tony.
I mean, I know he thinks he's woke here, but each week he does like a ton of coke there.
I didn't know that Tony let people do coke in
Well, that's
in their locker
because
room.
it's only, it's. I mean, that's how he got his nickname in college, Tony Koki Khan.
I was talking about Tony Storm.
I wasn't.
Oh well.
Tony sniffs cocaine.
Let's get off AEW because I think
Wait, but I mean, we're gonna overlook the what could potentially be a very huge legal issue.
oh, you're talking about them WWE contacting their superstars.
Yes, and Tony drafting a letter from by which was Tony didn't draft a letter. His legal the head of his legal department, which I believe is also his girlfriend.
Oh, do we got a Vince McMahon situation over here?
Uh, no, I think everybody knows they're together. And sending a letter saying not to tamper with his talent. The hypocrisy cup runneth over. Where do I start? Because I'm not sure we have enough hours in the day for this. Let's start with the use of the word tampering. Now, in professional sports organizations, the idea of tampering is a legitimate concept. A contracted athlete in the NBA, NFL, MLB cannot talk to other owners as it relates to their contract, with the intent of, yeah. And look. We're not gonna pull any punches here. It happens regardless.
Oh yeah.
People just people really don't give a shit. The thing here is that Tony from his is equating a concept that being a professional sports team owner, owning multiple teams in different sports, he's applying a concept that doesn't have any legal standing as it pertains to sports entertainment. I'm sorry, I mean pro wrestling. Because this brings up the idea of collective bargaining and the fact that the one big thing that all the other professional sports leagues have in common, there's a fucking union. And that in turn protects the players. Tony is trying to use an intimidation tactic by throwing out a legal term and thinks he's going to intimidate, Stephanie, Nick Khan, and Triple H from talking to their talent when Tony was doing it. My God, Tony was doing it more than anybody in this sport. And here's the thing. I think Tony is stupid enough to think he can use his experience as a professional sports team owner to set precedents for pro wrestling. That happens, and we go to court, Tony Khan's gonna get fucking obliterated.
I think it was
because
scare them. I don't think he has to not know that there is no legal ground that he could stand on against WWE at this point.
You'd be surprised, when you're someone who truly believes they're an icon in their own mind. It's absolutely ridiculous for Tony to do that, and then it gets out that this was sent. Yeah, nobody from AEW sent leaked it to social media. Yeah, that was the WWE, because the WWE knew how fucking stupid it would make Tony look. Now, regardless of everything that's happened in WWE's history, they do have quite an impressive legal team.
They defeated the U.S. government.
And, I mean, tampering Tony Khan, this is a fever dream at this point. It's a sign of a man who is scared, a sign of a man who thinks he is who thinks he's already on the same pedestal as Vince when it comes to what's been accomplished in pro wrestling. And the fact is, Tony will never have Vince's sense of the business that Vince had, in the, as he was, building everything up. Yes, Vince clearly, lost his mind a bit, but Tony is acting like he's acting like that spoiled kid is like, they're mine. You can't talk to them. No. I mean, what does he call what he was doing with Jeff Hardy?
Exactly. Well, I think we've beaten up enough on AEW and getting into some WWE news now. Some good news as well. Um, WWE is thinking to call up from NXT, Legado del Fantasma. All four of them. So this entire faction, could they do something on a Raw or SmackDown? What do you think they should run?
They're probably going to land on SmackDown.
Why is it always
I,
SmackDown?
I mean, Raw got Ciampa and oh God, who am I forgetting?
Gargano?
Oh yeah, the Rebel Heart beats again
Yes, it does.
on Monday Night Raw, and now I'm terrified that crap. We now have two serious contenders to win the 2023 Royal Rumble.
Ooh, I still feel like that's a that's a position for Cody, but that's another story for another time. Um,
But at Santos Escobar, he works great as a heel, but he works even better as a face. I mean, he got he just he got like he got so much more over. In the time while he was out and be the guy that sticks up for his family, and you know Santos, I believe, can be, or at least
he could be a
maybe
legitimate
even
player.
yes, but he's an Eddie Guerrero type,
That's a big compliment, and those are really big shoes to fill.
and that's something we sorely need. We,
Because
we,
Dominic
you
isn't getting it done for the Mexican
not
audience.
not yet. But you have Gargano as your Bryan Danielson type. If they can fucking get Ciampa away from the Mrs. Balls, I mean, the, I truly think Legado is, or at least Santos is going to be part of. Well, no, I can't say a new SmackDown 6 because It really is no SmackDown 6. Can't really call anybody SmackDown 6 anymore. But I see the potential of, let's say, Roman versus Santos Escobar, and I immediately think of Eddie versus Brock.
Ooh. Okay.
That's the potential that Santos and Legado could bring. We really kind of need a group to battle the bloodline. When you really think about it.
But the bloodline is more. Well, actually, no, you're right. They're a group now that they've added Sammy. Um, I always saw Escobar as a better version of Omos. He did what Omos was really fell under. He went over, Omos went under. He went over with the gimmick that Omos made famous. So he had that
Wait,
going for him.
wait,
He has an incredible
uh,
look. Huh?
the gimmick that Omos made famous.
Tien, Omos.
Omos.
Yeah,
Say Andrade.
Andrade. Thank you. Uh,
I'm thinking. Wait a minute, you're comparing him to a 7-foot man from
Nigeria.
Nigeria?
Well, I mean, he had almost obviously had that gimmick first. He didn't do as quite as well as Escobar did, but I think he's doing okay with what he's got right now. But no, I still say that Phantasma is more of a Ingobernables than the literally Ingobernables that are in AEW right now. I do feel like they should be heels and they should be on Raw. That's my personal opinion on it. Just to start things off, and then obviously branch Escobar out and see what he could do as a singles babyface. But for right now, let people be
I mean,
introduced to these guys. Let
I
them
mean, you
give
you
them their
all
moments.
you also have to tie into the fact that uh, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo are back on SmackDown as well.
I didn't
And
realize that they left.
well, I mean, Angel left to he pulled a Okada and took some little bit of maternity leave. He
Ah,
became a father.
oh, congratulations to
Uh,
him.
yeah, and they were literally on SmackDown last night. It seems they're going to feud with Masse and Mansoor and Mojo Jojo and Maxine, don't call me Sophia Cromwell Dupree. Uh,
That does bring up the question: does Electra George Lopez do anything? Because she has a great look. We know she can go in the ring. Um, could she make it? Because I mean, Del Tasmo obviously can only go as far as they can without breaking it up. So can she potentially do something?
See, she's she's really kind of started out almost in the same way that Trish did, is that she was
A manager.
really, yeah, really brought in to be the eye candy, and then
Test
it was
developer.
so that, yeah, it was she that seemed that she could, go in the ring, and I think sh- she's she's gonna get better, and the female Hispanic demographic is one of the demographics that the WWE sorely lacks in.
You're not wrong about that.
So, I mean, if if anybody should be teaming with Raquel Rodriguez, it should be Elektra.
But what about Aaliyah?
Aaliyah Mysterio can't wrestle.
I thought they were training her.
Well, anyone named Aaliyah can't wrestle. But
Speaking of chat wrestling, as everybody knows, last week, on SmackDown, everyone's favorite pro wrestler, Nikita Lyons and, Joey Starks did not compete, in the SmackDown match. They were replaced
eh,
by, they were replaced by, toxic, antics, I mean attraction,
which
um,
I called.
Gigi Dolan and, JC Jane. Yeah, JC Jane, QB. Hey, you don't need that. Those two. Um, they won. It was, a great thing. Till we found out that, Nikita doesn't have full vaccinations, couldn't go to Canada to compete in the match. And Zoe Starks, couldn't compete because she got a concussion on Tuesday. So that was a really bad, uh, unfortunate thing that Toxic Attraction took advantage of. And a great moment for them. No, Scooter? Because we'll get into what happened afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, it was a great moment, and honestly, if you were going to pick a team from NXT,
The only
you,
really established ones that they have. Well, anyway, after they won, Gigi got injured. Uh, so we know what Gigi did to, win that match. All jokes aside, hope it's not serious. Um, but what can I
nothing
really say
that a
about?
good pair of shoes can't fix.
You're not wrong about that. What did I say about this women's tag team tournament that it literally went wrong each way that they went?
I mean, what's wrong with somebody getting a bye in a tournament? What is wrong with that? They used to do it all the time. They based the whole pay-per-views around the fact that two people had buys going into tournaments and they were already in the next round.
They really did abuse that privilege, didn't they?
I mean, why why even have and essentially, yeah, it was great, and I was so looking forward uh, to Toxic Attraction because
You should
if
make more toxic pancake jokes.
you're the only one that does that,
You partake in
quite
the what would Gigi do for a pair of scissors,
yeah,
huh?
yes, but Toxic Pancakes.
It's like the
What is
House
that
of
a reference
Pancakes,
to?
but not torture. We haven't talked about
But
House of Torture for so long. I mean, House of Pancakes. Is it House of Pancakes or House of Torture? House of
okay, but
Toxic Pancakes.
how did you get from House of Torture to ty- okay, House of Torture you go to House of Pancakes? Okay, but how do you go from Toxic Attraction to Toxic Pancakes?
Because
Like,
House because it's the same rule. House of Pancakes, House Toxic Pancakes. I mean attraction.
I
I mean
mean,
I could go the
you,
opposite
I
attractive pancakes.
I mean, you could why not just call them the Toxic Avengers?
Then we get sued.
We're getting sued regardless.
But not for
Might
both.
might as well have some fun. Uh, either way, but uh, you know, I mean, I love what they do, but I know that they're toxic.
Listening to too much Britney Spears, if you ask me.
Well, you knew that, so methinks he doth protest too much. And unfortunately, we really loved what they do, but they just broke their coccyx, and now they're literally out of their ass. Leading to a last chance match, which got won by Natalia and Sonya Deville,
Which honestly is the
only
way
for
they should have gone in at the begin with.
only for them to lose later on to Raquel and Aaliyah.
I told you, they're on a roll. I'm gonna call it. Raquel and Aaliyah wins this whole fucking game.
They're on a roll by default.
I mean, it
And
doesn't matter how you get on that roll, it just means that you're rolling. Put some
and
butter on that roll, damn it.
at least there is that history between Raquel and Dakota.
Yes. Which is now being called, damage control. Control spelled, the way you see it on a computer.
Kataro, damage Kataro.
Control.
With Kataro, CTRL.
Control.
C
Control.
TRL with
Yes.
Carson Daly as their manager.
Damn. Awesome.
Uh, they have damage Kataro, which kind of sounds like a character from Star Wars.
I was gonna say Street Fighter. I don't know why.
Kyle damage Kataro. Uh,
What was we talking about?
I mean, is it any less obvious that Dakota and Io are the obvious winners here, which is something I never thought we'd say
About Dakota Kai?
about the. I mean, but having Sky come out and be like, go to Trish and say, I don't like you. I mean, don't worry. Just wait until they get to the final boss.
Is that Miko Satomura?
Oh, she is adorable. I love her already.
I don't know who I'm talking about now.
Miko Satomura, current NXT UK Women's Champion.
Okay, we're on the right track. Um, so yeah, Aaliyah and Raquel is going to be your new women's tag team champions. Congratulations to them. Um, I still feel like they should have had a women's USA championship and a Fox championship for the women. But you know,
I mean, then there'd be some real confusion between the United States champion and the USA champion.
will it be the
I, I mean, you could have the cable champion, and then you could have the uh, uh, free TV champion, or then you could be your Fox champion. But then you're gonna have women up in arms like we're not foxes.
nobody says that they. Well, I mean, nobody said that they were foxes. They're just it's on the belt. It's the Fox stuff. Oh, bring
I
back
know, but
Alicia Fox. Give her the first one. That makes sense. Um,
give her her moment in the Capri Sun.
damn straight. She definitely deserves it. Yeah, but I mean, why would they get the USA Championship confused with the United States Championship? Doesn't make
Because
sense.
they call it the U.S. title.
Well, it's not the US title. It's the USA title.
Oh my God, James.
You need to get that.
That's like saying, oh, okay. That's like the difference between an elephant and an elephant seal.
Put the A back in America, or in some cases, get the A out.
Merrick.
And of course, the last thing on the news spectrum that everybody wants to talk about, Johnny fucking Wrestling has returned. On Raw, he was confronted by Austin Theory, and Theory ate a super kick. What are what could Johnny Gargano do on Raw? Can he be the Daniel Bryan that WWE wants, needs, could use, or is
I
it?
mean, 2 words. Baby wrestling.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know you, but I've wanted to see baby wrestling for quite some time.
Like just put two kids in a crib. You put
You know,
the
from
toy
the
in a
rock,
bowl.
from the Rowdy Roddy Piper School of Daycare in Glasgow, Scotland. It's extreme toddler wrestling.
Roddy always knew what the people want. Always was on the pulse.
So did Futurama. I mean, God, it's oh God. I mean, I saw it and I screamed like like genuine shock. And again, it's that you know it's like it's 50%. We're kind of gonna make y'all that decided to sign with AEW sorry, but at the same time, it's 50% telling them, okay, he's gone now. You can come back. You just had to have patience.
And I mean, talk about smart. Um, you know, he took a basically took a vacation. Um,
I mean, he learned how to twitch.
and he became, he got to spend time with baby wrestling coming in March of 2040. Um, and yeah, I mean, if anybody took the right route, I mean, we've talked about it on the show. AEW wouldn't have known what to do with Johnny Gargano, and he would have fell to the wayside. Um, I also love how they did it. There was no, you know, bells and whistles. There was no indication. He just showed up.
But he didn't know that. I mean, he knew he was coming. He was going to come back, but even he didn't know until this past weekend, and they kept it secret. They did what they did for the Hardy Boys at WrestleMania 33.
Right. And it's just, smart. Because Johnny is, you know, it's weird to say, but he's one of those guys that you can't see anywhere else, in a sense. He's a WWE guy.
Yep, he 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 definitely is, and the fact that you know if Gargano had just been brought up like they had planned to do around WrestleMania 35 when they were putting all the NXT champions on Raw for a night. If he had just been casually just brought up, he would have fizzled.
But they did bring him up maybe once or twice. But for the thing that they were doing on the main roster, it did fizzle out because Ciampa got injured.
Yes, that's true, but
So you're absolutely right about that.
so but the fact that Gargano comes back without notice, surprises everybody. They give him Rebel Heart. They give him back Rebel Heart, which is one of the top 5 themes of all time. It's it's like when a moment in wrestling can leave somebody like me who has seen almost everything that that has gone down in professional wrestling, over the past 38 years, when there can be a moment that just leaves me in silence. That's a 10-star moment. but right there. And it it, it seems like they're really intent on having Gargano go real far, at least by the time we get to WrestleMania.
I mean, the matchup, the dream matches are endless when it comes to Johnny, and I mean we could be here all night. I mean the thing is, I this is why I really wish there was two titles instead of one, because a title chase for Johnny, those are legendary at this point. Um, do you see that they'll put him in that position when even legitimately have a chance at winning it, or is he gonna just be, the heart and soul of WWE?
You know, if if this was Gargano 6 months ago, 7, 8 months ago, you know, when whenever he left, I'd say no. But this version of Johnny Gargano, this renewed spirit who's wanting to prove to not just the world but to his son that if you believe in yourself enough, you have the power to succeed, to make your own success. Now, I'm going to propose an interesting scenario, and I want you to tell me who would get the bigger pop. Would Cody get the bigger pop if he was the one who beats Roman? Or would Gargano get the bigger pop if he's the one who beats Roman?
I mean, anybody that's gonna beat Roman is gonna get that monster pop.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like, just from a sentimental side of things, yeah, Johnny would probably get the bigger pop. But
And
kind of, I'm still on the fence of, yeah, but what about Cody? Because before all of this happened, Cody was all in. Cody was on that path, and now Cody, because all these new toys, I'm afraid he's kind of gonna get pushed down to the wayside, and those plans that they had for Cody might go unheard because you got a Gargano, a Carrion, um, Drew even at this point. Seth is a possibility. Um, but yeah, I feel like Cody's the prodigal son at this point. He needs to be the one. But would people pop harder for Gargano? Probably.
Mm. See, I think there's just where when we once saw only one possibility, we now see endless possibilities, and it's a bright future in the forecast for the WWE. Maybe not for the Miz, since the neither the Toronto or Orlando police have found him yet. He's currently still in Carbonite somewhere between Toronto and Orlando. We just know it's not Cleveland, which thankfully is still not Detroit.
And that does beg the question, are we gonna see any Hardball on WWE programming soon? Because I kind of feel like you can't have Dexter without Indy.
I I absolutely believe so. I believe the plan is that we're actually going to see a transition, an actual evolution of earning your way to Raw. And here's the thing. They're still treating Dexter Lumis as if he's not a WWE employee anymore.
Well, technically, he did get fired.
Yes. And they keep mentioning that, hey, no, he doesn't work here. So, I mean, the fact that one, we got fooled by the fact that we thought, oh, they were going to make Dexter that creepy heel again, only for his target to be the Miz.
Which immediately makes him a face.
Which absolutely makes him a face, especially when, the new rule is the Miz can no longer take off his shirt on television anymore. We're gonna see an actual transitional story of how Index gets to Raw, and it's gonna go from NXT into Raw, back to NXT to where Dexter and Indy will both earn their spots on the Raw roster.
By using the Miz as collateral?
By beating the Miz and most likely Maurice.
Not Ciampa?
I mean, you want to put Indy against Ciampa?
I was gonna say Indy versus Miz.
Indy's nuts, which are oversized and need to get checked. I mean,
not about how big the berries are. It's how you use your figs.
If you have more than one twig, you're a freak of nature. But I mean, Miz, spokesguy for testicular cancer awareness.
I mean, that's coming up in November, I believe.
Yes, it does always follow Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Alright.
Wait, but the point is, what I think we're actually going to see is, I think, it's something so ridiculous that it's really entertaining, that The Miz actually bails out Dexter Loomis just so he can beat him in the ring.
I suppose that makes sense.
I mean, unless we're going to see a series of, like, where, something like Silence of the Lambs, where the Miz is stuck in a hole and Indy is, like, lowering, like, a basket, and Indy is like, puts the lotion in the basket, or else it gets the hose again.
Okay, when did Indy become
I'm,
a small English boy?
I can't do a female Australian, all right? I mean, I could do a female Australian all night long, but I can't do a female Australian accent. Females from Australia who are Australian, call me.
It's not worth the trip.
Well, then I'll guess I'll have to just go down under. Sexual innuendo jump count infinity.
I think that's a good place to end the
Yes.
segment. And a quick word from our sponsors, if they actually want to sponsor us afterwards.
Hey guys, this is Brutal Bob Evans from Hangs with Bob Seminars and TheWrestleLife.com, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.